Could that thing possibly go off anymore? Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ryan. It's been a little bit. I took the summer, worked on some new projects, worked on a few movies, low budget ones, a few of mine, a few of some of my friends. So now I'm back with a new video, and this is going to be about 3 of the most fun cameras I've ever used. Now, I don't do a lot of event photography. I have in the past. I've done a lot, wore myself out on it. I don't love it. I love just taking photos to enjoy it, enjoy the process, and end up with something beautiful that I like. So this is about the cameras that I used that were really fun for me to use. Now I'm going to recommend 3 different types of cameras. You'll see when we get to them, there's different in those lines. There's different cameras that are similar that you might want to try out. It doesn't have to be this specific camera, but for me, these were the 3 most fun cameras that I've used, and maybe it'll be something you can look into if you take photos for fun. These are not the best cameras, the most technologically advanced, anything like that. These are, just for me, the most fun cameras I've used. So first of all, the Fujifilm X100F. Now, of course, if you know about this line of cameras, it's a fixed lens digital camera, stills camera. Some of the newer ones take video. Maybe all of them take video, although it's not the best choice for video. Regardless, I'm here to talk about the stills and the fun stills cameras. The X100 series also has the original X100, the X100S, the T, the F, and the V now, I believe. I used the F. I absolutely loved it. I love the manual dials on the top for changing the shutter speed and the ISO. I loved the fixed lens. It's something where if you need to get closer or further away, you can't zoom, you just move your legs. And just as an overall experience, it was wonderful. It's got an APS-C size sensor in it. So a rather big sensor for a small, basically glorified point and shoot. And I had a lot of fun with it. So there are other options, kind of like I said, there's other models than the F. And there's other cameras that are kind of similar that maybe you would have fun with. But that's just one of the most fun cameras that I've used, and had some great results using that camera. Number 2, another one of my favorite cameras I've ever used is the Leica M8. This is the original Leica digital camera. It's old, it's clunky, it's loud, it's very finicky, and I absolutely loved using it. It has no video functions. It only takes photos. It has an APS-H size sensor in the Leica M8, which is somewhere between an APS-C and a full frame sensor. So there is a bit of a crop on it, like our previous crop camera I mentioned. I absolutely love using this camera. I basically just set the ISO. I forget what it was, what the best native ISO was, maybe 800. I would just set it to that. I would change the shutter speed and the aperture of the lens manually. I used a Voigtlander lens on the Leica M8, and I absolutely loved it. It sparked an interest for me in some of the other Leica rangefinders. I would like to try, anything, an M240, an ME, a Leica M10 even. I'm not going to pay $6-7 whatever for it, but I had an absolutely great experience. Both of these cameras, what they have in common are just kind of, it forces you to slow down, which you may have heard in reference to cameras like these. Think about your picture, think about your composition, your settings, and then take the picture. I would never use these for event photography, wedding photography. Some people do, I guess, but for me, it was just the joy of the experience, which leads me to my 3rd favorite camera that I've ever used. For me, it was the Pentax, yes, Pentax K1000. This is an SLR that shoots film. And I think that's what I found by shooting all these other cameras. I had shot film in the past, years and years ago, when people shot film. I remember shooting on film, and thanks to the digital revolution, things have got better, things have got amazing. I remember the first time I shot video on a DSLR. It was amazing. But once I started using some of these cameras that have this retro look and retro feel, like the Fujifilm X100F or the Leica M8, it took me back to the slowing down and just the manual feel of photography that comes with 35mm film photography. So the Pentax K1000, I absolutely love using. It kind of is reminiscent of some Fujifilm cameras, maybe more like an X-T30 or something, but the dials and just shooting on film, you've got 24 frames on a roll of film or whatever you've got, and that's it. You can't just fire a million things off. You got to think about your composition and just enjoy the art of photography. So for me, these were 3 of the most fun cameras I've ever used. I'm not saying they're the best or they're the ones for you, But if you want to slow down and try some photography, I highly recommend, maybe just get a manual lens to adapt to your modern digital camera, or get one of these modern throwback cameras, or grab yourself a film camera and try that. I just think it's such a pleasurable experience. You can enjoy the art, enjoy the framing, enjoy the photography again. So as always, thanks for being here. Just a short video to share 3 of my favorite stills cameras with you. As always, I appreciate you being here, and I'll talk to you real soon. I'll see ya.